All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. I am Rob McConnell. We're coming to you from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free 800-610-7035. Email xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. Our guest this hour is Bill Bean, the spiritual warrior. And Bill, are you with us?
I am, Rob, and it's so great to be back with you, and 1,000 apologies. I literally have just stepped off the plane, and my flights were delayed in coming home, and so this is what caused the dilemma here, and I apologize to you and to the listeners as well.
No dilemma, my friend. We're used to these little glitches, but I know you, I respect you, and I knew that Bill Bean would be a man of his word, and there you are, my friend.
No question about that. You know that is set in stone, and we praise God for it. And, I have to thank Annette and Melinda for feverishly trying to get in contact with me to say, hey, you've got to go on X Zone with Rob. And that they couldn't get contact with me because I was in the air. But everything worked out. Praise God. Here I am, and now we're ready to move forward.
Bill, what is new with you since you and I last talked? Like, you are a very busy man, let's see, Discovery Channel, Destination Americans Haunting, and so on. What do you attribute the intense interest in the paranormal when it comes to demonology and exorcism?
Well, I think what it is, I believe these types of events are occurring more and more frequently abroad, really, not just the United States, but Canada and other countries as well, because I get contacted from people from all over the world, and this is increasing. And that said, we have the vehicle of TV and these shows that are, showing these, whether it is ghostly phenomena or the demonic activity, they are showing these things, so it resonates with some people who are having paranormal, supernatural experiences. So they see me on TV, and then they reach out. They contact me. They know that they can go to billbean.net, or there's a couple other sites that they can visit, and I answer everybody's messages. And now I'm thankful that I have a team of assistants that are really helping me with answering the messages now, because I'll tell you, Rob, it has gotten overwhelming. It is just amazing the amount of people that are in need, that are contacting me on a daily basis. It's just incredible. So that's what it is. They're seeing me on these shows. They're having an issue. Some of these people are going to their churches, to their priest, to their pastor, and they're being turned away. They're being told, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
I'm not trained in that. I can't help you. And so they turn to me.
Bill, is there an increase in the fight between good and evil?
I absolutely 100% believe it. I'm out here.
Yeah.
I'm constantly traveling. I'm constantly in contact. I just had Super Bowl Sunday. I wasn't watching the big game. I was out helping a family, and these people, the husband and wife, are in the mental health profession. Very high up in the mental health profession.
Right.
Work with presidents and things of this nature. And these people were having demonic experiences. And they contacted me, and I went to them, and God worked through me to help them.
Bill, you and I go back a great number of years. I've had the pleasure of, speaking to you, and I'm very proud to call you one of my friends. But there are so many...
And I feel the same about you.
Thanks, bud. But there are so many charlatans out there, Bill, who hide behind the name of these new independent or non-associative churches that put Reverend, the most Reverend Archbishop, in front of a name and a non-existent address, selling exorcism kits, certificates that claim this person is an exorcist. These people, in my opinion, Bill, are a threat and a danger to people who really have a problem and who need the service of a real exorcist like yourself.
No question about it. And again, I hate to say anything bad about anybody, but there are people out there like that, and they are causing great harm. And, they just go and do whatever or sell whatever, and then it's just out of there. And you're not going to get any follow-up from anybody like that. You're not going to get, what I do. And, yes, I'm very, very busy. And, again, I'm thankful to have the assistants that I have, Melinda and Annette and Gina and other people that help, and I'm thankful for that. But when people are in need and I go to them, they know they can follow up with me. They know that they can call me. They know that they can text me or email me, and I always respond. And they're not getting that from some of these other people who make these claims and have all these titles and everything, and they do what they do and sell what they sell. And it's very sad and unfortunate. And I just say to people, just be very careful. Make sure you check somebody out really good before you invite this person into your home and into your life. You want to be sure that God is making this connection. And, all it takes is a little bit of digging and investigation. It's very easy to find out some things. And so just be sure before you make that decision to bring someone into your home and into your life.
Bringing someone into your home who has paid the $60 or $70 to become an online exorcist in one of these imaginary churches that are popping up all over the place.
Yeah.
How much more problems can these people create for the family that's already suffering unimaginable demonic and spiritual attacks?
Well, it's the same thing as the people who claim to be ghost hunters and all that kind of stuff, and they go in and they quantify supposedly all this data, and then has a so-called psychic that goes and says, hey, you've got a this and a that, and it's this little girl or this little boy, and this, just all of this. And look, I know there's some gifted people out there that are psychics, and I say that it's under prophetic gifts from God, and I know that this is true, and I know that these people exist. However, just like we're talking here, there's a lot of charlatans that make all these claims, and they say this and that, and they are absolutely causing destruction. So when we're walking with God, and we try to do the best that we can do and be the best that we can be, God is with us and for us every step of the way, and he'll work through us to be a blessing to others. But some of these people, when they're doing what they do, they are not walking with God, and they are creating a variety of damage. They're leaving a trail of destruction everywhere they go, and this is not good, to say the least.
Bill, you're a deliverance minister. Can you tell our listeners what a deliverance minister is?
Well, a deliverance minister, the deliverance differs from an exorcism in the sense that an exorcism is a Catholic rite, so they have certain ways, and it's more ritualistic, I'll say it that way, and no criticism against anybody, but God has called me to be different. So my approach as a deliverance minister is I'm on the offense. So from the moment I go to the family, my approach is that I know God is with me and for me, therefore nothing can or will stand against me because of the power of God. So my approach on this is the best defense is a strong offense. And so I have confidence in knowing that God really is with me and for me. Therefore, I can go and allow him to be God and allow him to work through me to help these people. So when I go to a residence, the first thing I do is I will say a lamb blessing prayer, and then I'll go inside and I'll anoint the heads of the victim or victims with a combination of holy oil, holy water, and holy salt. And then I'll say several prayers inside. And then I sit down, Rob. I have to become a counselor, and that requires gut-wrenching dialogue that takes anywhere from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 hours sometimes, to where these people are purging. They're telling me everything. They're telling me their deepest and darkest secrets. And in order for someone to be able to do that, they have to trust you. And so I think part of this miracle is having suffered the way that I suffered and the way my family suffered. It was necessary. It was a necessary part of the journey, because I couldn't be where I'm at right now in helping people had I not been there. So when these people know that I've been down all these long and hard and dark roads, they can relate to me. So then they can open up, and they're comfortable in sharing with me, these awful things. I don't want to know people's deepest and darkest secrets, but I have to in order to get to the root of the problem. So once I get to the root of the problem, then I can engage in spiritual warfare by the mighty power of God. It's not my power. It is God's power that works through me. And I would never take credit and glory for God's blessing and anointing on me and his power working through me in this way. So, once we get to that point, then I can engage in spiritual warfare against these demonic forces by the mighty power of God and cast them out.
Bill,
and then it's game over.
Bill, when is an exorcism necessary?
I feel that
or
there's a preliminary process of it. So if somebody contacts me, they'll send me, information of what's going on, and then I will have my assistant Belinda follow up with that. So she'll get in contact with them, and then she'll write down all the info. So it's like, putting a case file together. And so she's getting all the info, and then she'll come back to me with the info. Then I start to analyze that, and then I take the appropriate steps after that. There are some people that just need counseling, and they need, they've had an unfortunate set of circumstances in life, and it's not demonic possession or demonic oppression. It's just an unfortunate set of circumstances that happened that put them on a wrong path. And I minister to people like that as well. I go to people like that, and so I do marriage counseling. I do all kinds of things. So it's a wide array of things that I get involved in different areas in a person's life, to where God can work through me to help them to get back on the right track.
In your opinion, Bill, what is the number one cause of demonic and spiritual attacks that are happening in more and more cases than we've seen before?
Sexual abuse, child molestation. In a large number of these cases, the victims had been molested as children, and or they've had some sort of very traumatic experience that was, and that's all it takes, is some sort of really earth-shaking traumatic experience that opens the door for this junk to come through.
Wow. That is so sad. That is truly so sad.
It's very sad, because, what happens is when, a child has been attacked in that way and that high wickedness takes place, not only is the perpetrator demon-filled, obviously, to be able to commit a wicked, heinous act like that, after the act takes place, due to the trauma, now the victim is infested and is marked by these demons, and it will not leave them until somebody like me comes along and God works through to that person, whether it's me or somebody else, to deliver those people from it.
Bill, what are the lasting psychological effects that a demonic possession has on a family? Do they ever get past it?
Well, here's what I recommend to them always. I say, look, it's very important to have a mindset change, because when we suffer traumas, we are in the fear-based, trauma-based way of thinking, and that's right where the enemy wants us, because Satan and his demons feed off of fear. Fear is the food for Satan and his minions. So we have to have a mindset change. When the deliverance takes place, then we have to replace the fear with faith. So when we eliminate the fear, we eliminate the food supply for the enemy and his minions, and we literally starve them out, and they have to go someplace else. So the number one tool for the enemy is fear. And so what needs to take place after that is when I leave a family, I suggest that they get involved in a real faith-based church. And I'm sad to say and sorry to say that a lot of today's churches have been taken over, and they are not truly faith-based, and the focus is on getting your money. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. And so finding a really good, strong faith-based church is becoming like a needle in a haystack. And so I recommend that to people, and I also recommend that they get involved in a support group, because it's very important as part of having this new mindset change not to fall back into those fear-based, trauma-based ways of thinking.
Based on what you've seen during your travels and the spiritual work that you've done, and your faith in God, are we looking at the end of time as talked about in the book of Revelations? Is this the apocalypse?
Well, I'll say this, brother. History repeats itself. And all throughout history, and I've studied this timeline, all throughout history, there has been momentous events at different parts through history. And where people called for the end, people have been calling for the end from almost the beginning. And so we see a pattern of events that take place in a generation that one would think that the end is coming. However, I have to say in my lifetime, we're living in days that I've never seen before, and things are taking place that I've never seen before. And it is definitely a time like no other, and red flags are everywhere, because I see a concerted effort by whomever, and they know who they are. They are really making an effort to promote Satan, to lead people away from God. You have shows out now like Lucifer on the Fox network, and they are promoting the enemy as this cool guy that gets all the girls, and he runs a bar or owns a bar or whatever. And so they're painting the enemy as this cool guy, and people should really like him because he's cool and he does this and that. And so there's a real concerted effort. And just like with, which I call the Illuminati Bowl, the Super Bowl and those halftime shows and all that kind of stuff, it's saturated with satanic garbage and Illuminati. It really is. And for those who think that I'm a crazy man, you don't have to believe a word I'm saying, but I urge you to do the research for yourself. And if you dig into some of these things, you're going to be astounded.
I have to ask you, Bill, why are people so taken in with this kind of programming? Like you were saying, Lucifer, I saw it the other day, and I said, what the hell is going on? You're right.
And
he
TV is called...
I'm sorry, Bill.
Go ahead, brother. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, again, you hit the nail on the head when you said programming. That's what TV is. TV programming, which equals mind programming. So a large amount of these TV shows are not good, and they are aimed at sending messages into the mind to get people to accept things. And when people accept things as normal, when you have a society of people that if someone drops in the street from a heart attack or something like that, I've seen these videos to where people just walk right over those type of people. They don't stop to help them or anything. They walk right by. This is part of a mind conditioning. They want to desensitize people to the point to where it won't matter. If large amounts of people are killed or whatever, it doesn't matter. Who cares? It's just like these video games that are put out for these kids to play, and it's nothing but blood and guts and killing and all these things. This is mind programming.
Well, you know, Bill, you asked a question, who cares? You care, Bill. I care.
Absolutely, I do, and I know you do, and and more people need to really take a step back and see this for what it really is. You know, there was a movie that came out in the late 80s, and I always go back to this because it's so true. Roddy Piper was in this movie, and it was called They Live.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel that we're living that right now. They live. There's an external force on this planet, and they know who they are. And they are pulling all the strings, and they're causing all of this chaos on this planet. And I say this, they better enjoy every second of it, because our God is going to have an answer for them. And when he does, destruction is going to follow. And I do believe that he is going to purge the earth of every one of those types of individuals.
Sad to say, but you can even see this in the presidential race in the United States, you know, money, power.
Absolutely correct.
You know,
You're absolutely correct. And again, for people who are not awake, for people who think that this is crazy talk, I urge you all, do the research for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to take Rob's word for it. Do the research for yourself, and the truth will set you free, and the truth will open your eyes wider than saucers.
Bill, you and I have to take a very short break. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. I want to thank you ever so much for coming on, Bill. It's always a great pleasure talking to you, and it's always great to work with your staff, Melinda and Annette. And please thank them for me for helping make this interview possible.
I sure will, brother, and it's always my pleasure.
All right, stand by, bud. Exonation, Bill Bean is my very special guest this hour. Yep, he's the Bill Bean that you've seen on Discovery Channel, Destination America is a Haunting. He's written a book. He is a true, and underline this word, true spiritual warrior. When we come back, more with our special guest this hour, Bill Bean, as we continue our investigation into the world of the paranormal and the science of parapsychology here in the X Zone. After all, this is a place where people dare to believe and dare to be heard. Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. Eastern until midnight on the X Zone Broadcast Network, Radio X, and the Talkstar Radio Network. Send an email, xzone@xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X Zone Radio TV. And you can listen to the X Zone 724-365 as well as our live show at www.xzoneradiotv.com. My name's Rob McConnell. I'll be back with my good friend Bill Bean on the other side of this break. Don't go away. You're listening to the X Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
While science pursues fact, magic accesses the quantum level, bridging random facts to form truth. As long as science and magic remain separate and polarized, the truth cannot be known. I'm Wilda Wieka. Join me on the Science of Magic radio program dedicated to unification and evolution of consciousness. During each episode, I'll be speaking with experienced and respected scientists and mystics. From astrologers to astronomers, from medical doctors to shaman, the scientific method to dowsing and intuition, we will weave together information from seemingly divergent practices to promote unity and enlightenment. Join me, Wilda Wieka, and the Science of Magic right here on the X-Zone Broadcast Network. For more information, visit www.thescienceofmagic.net.
You're listening to the X-Zone Broadcast Network, www.xzbn.net. Welcome back, everyone. Bill Bean is my guest, www.billbean.net. Bill is a spiritual warrior. He's an author, a lecturer, and a media personality. But he's also a guy who does God's work and has helped so many people. He is truly the unsung hero of the spiritual warfare that is going on today. And I'm telling you, I've seen this firsthand. This is not anything that comes out of Hollywood. This is nothing that comes out of the books and the pages of of science fiction books. This is real. And Bill, hats off to you, pal, for all the great work you do.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it, and I always enjoy coming on with you. And even though I've been through a long journey right now, and I'm very tired, I'm still overjoyed to be here because this is important that we talk about these things. And I've said this many times before, you are the guy to talk with these things about because you're top-notch, and it's just always a pleasure to be on with you, and I certainly hope that the listeners are getting something out of this. And I've said so many times, Rob, that, again, I don't have any axe to grind with anybody, but the truth is the truth. There's no substitute for it. And some of these people that are doing and saying some of these things that they're doing and saying is just absolutely, I scratch my head and I think, why are you telling people this? Yeah. Why are you saying these crazy, outlandish things? Because our God is a God of order. So when we have things, there's an order to all things in life. And when we are in step with God and in order, then things are, for the most part, good in our lives. And, we all have a set of challenges and circumstances in life. I mean, we're human beings. We're always going to have those challenges. But the difference is, when we have God with us and we're in strong faith, then we have the faith and the strength and the courage to know that God is with us and for us, and He makes the impossible possible. And so if we're faced with an adverse set of circumstances or whatever, we know God's going to be there, so what have we to fear or worry about? That's the difference. So when a person is on the other side of this, and again, we've discussed this before, that people, human beings operate on frequency and vibration, and when people are on low frequency and low vibration, nothing ever goes right. It's like the black cloud over their head. It's always drama. There's always a problem. There's always a situation. There always will be. There's never a way out. And so these people get drugged further and further and further into it, and deeper and deeper and deeper they go downward. And unfortunately, there are some people out there who claim to be gifted, and they give this outlandish advice to people. And what it does, it adds confusion. So again, our God is a God of order. When we're united, we're strong. Well, the enemy is the author of confusion. So where there's confusion, there is division. And where there's division, there's weakness. And where there's weakness, these things can come in and just have their way. And that's exactly what happened. So just as God will work through some people to be a blessing, unfortunately, the enemy, who mimics everything that God does and puts a vulgar twist on it, will work through others to create chaos, confusion, division, and a variety of problems.
I had a member of the clergy on years ago, and he had a very unique spin on the mark of the beast. He said, Rob, the mark of the beast is not 666. The mark of the beast is WWW.
I've read about that too, Rob. I've studied about it now, but here's something that I would add to that.
Okay.
And I would be in agreement with this priest that said that the WWW very well could be 666, but 666 is everywhere anyway on a lot of things. Even our barcodes, there's supposedly 3 6s in that we don't see. Mm-hmm. However, the mark of the beast, according to Scripture, is something that has to be accepted, something that has to be taken. So it's something that won't be forced on the people per se. However, it will be introduced as this great technological breakthrough. And so the enemy will make this very enticing, and he'll dress it up and present it in a way that the masses will go for it. And it's my opinion that the mark of the beast is the computer biochips that people are already taking. They're being inserted into the right hands via needle, and people are already, there's some corporations in America and other countries that are telling their employees that they have to have this, and the employees are going through with it. And there's places over in Europe. I read about a club in Spain that they made this offer for people to get chipped, and it would be to where they could go into the club and have their hands scanned, and they'd never have to worry about bringing a wallet and all these kind of things, other than having something for identification. But they wouldn't have to worry about anything. And furthermore, if they were going to take it a step further with those chips, well, the identification and birth date and all that would be in the information once the hand is scanned. So you would have all of this from a device that would scan that chip that is in the person. Mm-hmm. And so this is marketed as a great thing, a cool thing. And in my opinion, this is how the enemy is going to get the masses to accept this mark of the beast.
You know, there's already clubs in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Los Angeles, and New York that use that technology.
And I also saw a video on machines that Walmart has ready to go, to where when the person has this chip in them, they just simply scan their hand underneath of it, and that is the form of payment. Yep. And so supposedly these machines are already built and ready to go.
Well, it's just another RFID reader, just like we have the chips in our credit cards, in our
exactly
debit
right.
cards. You know, it's just tap and go, and away you go. And it's so easy. It is so easy for a criminal to gain access to that information. Like, why? You know, like. Why can't people understand if it's too good to be true, it is? Look at how many computers are being hacked. Whether it's in Canada, the United States, or the United Kingdom.
Yep.
And look,
breaking into the United States government computers. Yep. I mean, this is just unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, but it's true, my friend. You know that. I know that. The world knows it.
Exactly right.
And it's not raising any alarms, and that's what's so scary.
And what that tells us is that people's minds are already being conditioned to the point to where they simply don't care.
Yeah.
Talk with them about these issues, and they tune it out. Talk with them about the Kardashians or things like that, and they could tell you everything. That's scary.
And
now we have, and I think it's coming up in a couple of days, if I'm not mistaken, this Grammy Awards thing,
right?
That's coming up with this Lady Gaga, another And I hate to talk badly about anybody, but in my opinion, she's one of the biggest Illuminati promoters there is. And she has now joined forces with Intel, and they are going to introduce this brand new, never-before-seen technology that is going to be debuted at these Grammy Awards.
You know, technology is great. You can't take away the positive uses for technology that help mankind or help humankind. I'm sorry, I didn't want to be sexist there. But I think we have been inundated, programmed by the creators of certain technologies that we can't live without them. And the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest culprit here are the manufacturers of smartphones.
You are so right. And let me tell you, as you know, I travel nonstop all over this country, and every airport I go into, I look at people's heads are buried into the phones. I get on the shuttles to go from the airport to the rental car places to pick up my car. People's heads are buried into the phones. You go into restaurants, and you look, and you see couples sitting at a table, the man and his wife or girlfriend or whatever, and their heads are buried in the phones. They're not even enjoying their dinner. They're not having any conversation. They are buried in the phone.
It's sad. You know, and all people have to do is look around them and they will see that what we are saying is true. But people don't want the truth. I really believe that the truth is a dying commodity, Bill.
You're exactly right. People would rather believe a lie and fantasy because it makes them feel comfortable. It makes them feel safe. It makes them not have to do anything. Nobody wants to be proactive anymore. Nobody wants to stand up for any cause. People just want to go along. As long as they've got their comfortable little life, they don't care about anything else, and they're going to focus on that, and they're not going to make waves, and they're not going to stand up. And I think that's very sad and very tragic, and I pray that we get some strong leadership soon that is going to motivate and inspire people to wake up and to stand up, because if we could do that, not only just a national scale in the United States, but a worldwide movement to where somebody could step up and say, look, we need to get back to God, and we also need to get back to helping each other. Love your neighbor. Help your neighbor. What can you do to help somebody? I pray each and every day that I can be a blessing to somebody. I ask God to work through me to be a blessing to somebody every day of my life. Doesn't make me perfect, but my motivation truly is to be of service to God and to my fellow man. And anything that I can do in the course of that day to help somebody, you better believe I'll do it. But I don't see that in a lot of people now. They just cannot stand up. They don't want to stand up. They're comfortably numb. I think that's the best way to put it.
Comfortably numb, that's right. You know, and I've said this before, Bill. People today stick their heads in the sand, their butts in the air, waiting for the aliens to come down and solve all the problems of the world, instead of taking responsibility and making the changes happen themselves.
You're exactly right, and we can do this. If we take a look in the mirror first and say, okay, what can we do to make changes with ourselves? And we all have room for improvement, each and every one of us. So what can we do to better ourselves, number one? Then we take that out, and we say, okay, well, now I'm confident that I've made some changes to where I can go out and help other people. And then what can we do in the course of the day? What can we, the little things mean a lot. It doesn't have to be these grand big gestures or whatever. It could be a little gesture that could go a long way with somebody. You never know how God's going to work through you and to be a blessing to somebody, and when or whatever. I mean, but if we have that mindset that we truly care and we want to do something in some way to make a difference, a positive difference, if the world suddenly in one day said, okay, we are going to try this. Let's try this. What can we do to help someone? if the world as a whole, if the people, the citizens of the world decided that we were going to do this in a united effort, Rob, this world would change in one single day.
I agree with you, Bill.
For the better.
I agree. Or what would happen if the world was faced with a catastrophic event such as being hit by a major size space debris?
That makes you wonder, because I tell you, you hear these stories, and maybe this will be another show for another time, but I tell you, this has been going on now since 2011. Mm-hmm. There are strange sounds in the sky all over Canada, the United States, and other countries. There are explosions that are being heard underground, and boy, it just makes you wonder. And God forbid, I certainly hope that it's not true, but it makes you wonder if somebody doesn't know that something may be coming this way, and they are preparing underground.
Well, look what's happening with the Zika virus. You know, it's running rampant. Now, where the heck did this come from? You know, was it genetically modified? Are we, you know, by the use of genetically modified foods and organisms, are we actually creating a Pandora's box that we have yet to open?
Sure seems that way, brother. Yeah. And again, I didn't come on your show to preach a sermon. I came to speak truth, and the truth of the matter is, for me, I can't twist anybody's arm to do anything. Everybody's free to believe that the way they want to believe or whatever. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm a man who suffered greatly. My family was destroyed. I was nearly destroyed as well. I've been down all the long and hard roads of life. And my life did not change until I decided to make God first in my life. And when I did that, it was the greatest decision I ever made in my life. And He has twofold blessed my life more than it's ever been cursed. So I strongly suggest to your listeners out there, please just take a moment and take to heart what I'm saying here and investigate it. Pray about it. Do whatever you have to do. But if we are walking in strong faith, then I know that God will make a way for us. Even where there doesn't seem to be a way, God will make the way for us. And if we have these cataclysmic type of situations that come, and God forbid, but if something like that happens, mm-hmm. then I'm not going to worry about it, because I know that I'm in faith, and I know that God's going to make a way, and I pray that for everybody.
Bill, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show tonight, my friend. I know you must be very tired, so get some sleep, get some rest, and once again, thank Annetta and Melinda for helping make this possible. And Bill, you're always welcomed here, my friend, and I look forward to the next time we meet.
I can't wait, my brother. It's always like coming home every time I come on the show, and you, again, are top-notch. You're my dear friend, you're a brother, and I can't wait to come back again. And we got to wish Annette a happy birthday, and I'm very thankful to have Annette and Melinda and Gina, and they're a great, great help to me. And Rob, I look forward to coming back on again soon.
All right, brother.
And I'll be in touch.
All right, and Annette, happy birthday from everyone here in the X-Zone and around the world from the X-Zone Nation. Take care of yourself, Bill. God bless.
God bless you, brother.
All right, X-Zone Nation. Bill Bean has been my guest this hour. His website is www.billbean.net. That's www.billbean.net. I'll be back on the other side of this news break as we continue here in the X-Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Worldwide toll-free, 1-800-610-7035. Email xzone at xzoneradiotv.com. On all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV. And our main radio website where you can listen to the X-Zone 724-365. As well as the live show, www.xzoneradiotv.com. My name is Rob McConnell. We're coming to you live from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, the Talkstar Radio Network, and Radio X. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.